Turn your thing off too.
Yo, you could get mad bloopers on this timer, bro.
Like right now.
Yo, yo, yo. What's cracking, people? You know, our boy Skywalker, he just do the mute thing sometimes, you know. But it's all good. Look, we got an exciting show tonight. Y'all know what it is. It's Poppy Tune Yayo, heavy on the poppy, light on the mayo. I mean, yayo.
Mayo.
Hey, we got Skywalker Boxing Media. Shout out to him and Mo Boxing, Mo Problems. What's up, Skywalker?
What's up, man? It's motherfucking fight week. Hyped up, man. We got my co-host of 3 years, man. I get to see him in person in the flesh on the 8th, right, Tim? And he's headed to the Duke City, man. He's gonna be fighting for the light heavyweight title for the ICS bout. That's coming here to Albuquerque at the UNM pit, the legendary pit. It's going down. It's fight week. Get your tickets. They're selling quick. Get them. What's up, Tim? How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to come out there to Albuquerque, come out of retirement officially, and do what I want to do. And what I want to do is put this kid to sleep, and that's what's going to happen.
Nice.
Yeah, but
coming out of retirement, man. And you're looking good, man. You're looking in shape, man. How was your Ramadan?
Ramadan was good. I probably didn't do the best thing, and instead of when everybody went to go eat, I went and ran a half marathon. And that took a lot out of me, and now I'm in a recovery phase. I feel good. And anytime you can accomplish Ramadan and then the day after go right into 13 miles, you feel like you can do anything. So I'm feeling good on that front, and I just got a lot of positive things going on, and this is just one of them. And I can't wait to, put on and perform for everybody. I know you guys been waiting. We've been waiting for me to fight for forever, so it's finally happened.
Hey, man, so
it's literally wait real quick. It's literally been years. We've been trying to get me a fight.
That's exactly where I was getting ready to go with it. So I mean, let's do a life comparison, bro. So how do you feel right now, this fight week versus how you felt in the very first time you fought professionally? What is the feeling different?
Yeah, well, I'm much more mature right now, and my education right now is through the roof because I've already been through it. Back then, obviously, I had the mindset. I knew all these things that I know now, but I wasn't mature enough to put them all together. And now that I'm a coach and all that, and it just helps. So that maturity, as well as me being mentally stronger, like I said, I did Ramadan for 30 days, and then I did a half marathon right the next day. Those kind of things are things that, I'm mature enough to be able to push myself to do. So, the laziness of being a young kid isn't there. Knowing that you have a job to do and that you have to get up and get it done no matter what, that is a big difference in what I'm doing now and what I used to do. I used to work hard and everything like that, but now it's like, oh man, this is my profession again, and this is my second time a chance to do it even better.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. Hey, shout out real quick to
shout out everybody real quick. Yeah, let me shout out everybody coming in. Shout out to Coach Chudding, Coach Green in the house. What's up, Coach? Coach Green said he wants to get with you when you come to town. If you got time to hit him in the evening, get you prepared a little bit. You know what I mean? He wants to pass a little bit of his, expertise to you. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when we touch down, we're probably gonna rent a car. Link up with you a lot.
Yeah.
And go around. You know, I'm really excited because I found out New Mexico is like a spiritual place.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's
bro.
like, yeah, like that's a place that you want to go if you want to like clear your chakras and all that.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta be careful how you clear them out. You know, they got them aliens out there, bro.
Yeah.
They got them underground cities. You got to be careful out there. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
bro. We got UFOs. And shout out to the Buff Files. They got a great channel. Subscribe to them. Bianca, much love from the Rock Chalk family right here too. She's out there in Australia, big time supporter. Much love to Bianca. Shout out to Champ Ross, man. We were trying to get with you, man, because we didn't see Tim Witherspoon Jr. on the prediction on the first.
What's up, Champ?
You got Shane Mosley Jr. You got Fernando. His opponent's locked and loaded, man. This is set to go. Let's Malcolm backs out.
We need that.
We need that on the prediction.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, we understand we putting a little pressure on you on the live, but we need that on. We need that.
Yeah. And Tim, I need KO4, okay? KO4. That's what I need, man. Fourth round. Fourth round. You see that you could take him out. Wait till the fourth, bro, for me.
I'm manifesting. Sorry, I'm manifesting a third round knockout.
Okay.
All right.
That's
what heard that, Champ Ross. I bet me and Ernest are betting on a third round.
Hey, wait a minute! I didn't say KO3. You know, I got to go back and do some film study. I got to go watch Tim's last joint.
Hey, I got Tim's last fight, man. He beat up a wrestler, man, and the guy was, you know, not a slouch, you know, but Tim knows how to work that body, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Ain't enough video. It don't matter. Like I said, I'm too smart. I'm too mature. I've been there before. I've been in front of. I pretty much, let's put it this way. This is this kid's first time fighting in a stadium. I done flown to other countries and fought guys in their own hometown stadium while they were chanting American cunt. You guys heard this story before.
Yeah.
This is, I'm actually flying somewhere where we're going to be on mutual grounds where we both don't have, you know, well, quite frankly, I have more people there than he will. And, you know, it's just the fact of the matter. This is an occasion that's set up perfectly for me. And if I don't rise to this, then you guys can be like, Tim was bullshit for the last 2 years.
Oh, no, listen, if it's something we do over here, you know Papa Chum gonna do what he do. I'm holding his feet to the fire. You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna let that happen.
Yeah. I wish I could play your face off, man. This guy had some words for Tim, man. Little shit talking, shit got heated. Tim said, "Let's go right here. We don't have to wait for the ring. Let's go right here."
Yeah, that's the other thing about me right now. You know, sometimes when I was fighting, I let myself get a little out of shape. I have to get ready. When they called me for this fight, I was getting prepared for this race, this half marathon. I'm already in the gym anyway, incorporating my boxing training. I just got to switch it over a little bit. I was ready when they called me. So it's like, I probably had the least amount of time to know that I was going to be on the show, but I was ready anyway.
Yeah, this is one of them situations where you you think you gotta pick me.
Tell everybody where you're at last night. Tell everybody where you're at last night, man.
Yeah, I was at the Pro Box Card in South Philly. You know, I can't even. It was. I can't even remember now who the main event was.
I know, man. It's a lot of distractions in between rounds.
Cruz and Ricardo Salas.
Right, exactly. Okay. And then you just had the guy that you just put on.
Oh, he's good, bro. The Hitman, Haven Brady Jr.
No. The kid from Puerto Rico.
Oh, he's good too. He's 4-0 with 4 knockouts.
That was Christian Ortiz.
Yeah, Christian Ortiz.
But anyway, it was good. It was in South Philly. Pro Box, you know, they put on a good production. You had Chris Algieri in the house. You had a whole bunch of other people. Not too many celebrities were in the actual crowd. Those are the interviews that I like to get, ask them why that they're, why they're at the fights and everything. But overall, it was good. Me, as a reporter, is kind of, you want to see some action. You want to get some of the fights over with, and the thing is that when you have those cards with two undefeated fighters or some, the records are close, they tend to last long, man. And then the chess match, which is good if you're there to watch, but if you're there to be a reporter, you're trying to get these interviews, you're like, man, let's get to this. This is fight number 3 of 12.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the cat calling, bro? Did they really be up in there doing the cat calling in between rounds like that? Are they really serious with it? Huh?
Did you? Oh, you guys can hear it?
Hey, bro, we hear it every show. I'd be like, oh, this is some Pepe Le Pew type shit going on right here.
Yeah, it's crazy because they I hate to talk about the company. They use the same rain car girls. I guess it's the Danny Garcia fight, but these I don't think that, to me personally, they're nothing to be catcalling. I don't know if they got a soundtrack or something that they play when the girls go up there or something. Oh, but they not really, or maybe it's the alcohol that they're selling. I don't know, but the girls ain't like that. You know what I mean?
Hey.
But every time they went up there, I noticed, I'm like, yo, they are whistling.
Yeah. Hey,
Pro Box got the best. Like they do beef. You know how they have beef quality, like the USDA Prime Choice. All that. That's Pro Box TV right there, man.
Hey, no, man, I demoted them, bro.
You demoted them?
I did. I put him in second place, bro. Our man that we interviewed here, who has his own show.
Oh, Fight Book, Mark Habibi.
He just put it all. It's over.
Mark got all the girls, and he's bringing. I got him some girls ready for Albuquerque. Actually, I got 2 girls. They're gonna be rocking the Fight Book outfit. Shout out to Mark Habibi. If you're not registered with Fight Book, get with me. Ask questions. I'm gonna be running a tent. I'm gonna have a big old tent set up, and I'm gonna have the models out there. If you guys want to take pictures with the models. Go ahead. Then I'm gonna be with Nonito Donaire, which is cool. I'm gonna be helping him set up his commentary stuff, and I'm gonna be with my boy Tim Witherspoon Jr. hyping this shit up, showing him Albuquerque. So I got a big week. I'm a busy week this week, man.
For sure.
I stay busy with boxing, man. These past 2 weekends, I've covered amateur boxing events, and these next 2 weekends will be professional events. We got the 12th. We got ICS going down at the pit. Get your tickets. They're selling fast, man. That's going to be a badass show. Then a week right after that, you got another amazing show on the 19th, right before 420. Before you spend all your money on all that weed, go out and get tickets for Legacy Boxing Promotions. It's going down at Embassy Suites. I'm going to be at that show. So support your local boxing in Albuquerque. Boxing's starting to take off in Albuquerque, guys. So
wait a minute, hold
tickets, support your events. Hell yeah.
We can't just Skywalker. We can't just let Tim get out of here on us like that without telling us who he thinks.
Hey, what's your message to
we need that boost prediction?
What's your I want a message to Malcolm Peck too, so I can. What's your message to your opponent?
My message to Malcolm is thank you for rising up to this opportunity. Without you, this fight wouldn't be able to be possible, but you gotta go because I already see it. I already done all the work, and it's gonna happen. So just show up, try your best. Let's put on a good show, but you're not winning. So that's it.
And new ICS light heavy, and you're gonna have to defend that shit too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not to look past Malcolm, but I see bigger things coming. Everything happens for a reason. We've been chasing something, and this is actually like a way bigger stage than it was going to be. So yeah, I'm trying to, I have plans for the next step after this. And it just so happens that, this whole time I've been telling you guys, I'm not trying to fight any real hard fights or anything like that. I'm not saying that this isn't a hard fight, but I'm just saying this is the exact route that I wanted to take as far as the influencer championship route. And me sitting on my couch allowing it to happen, it's just happening. So I'm just gonna keep following it.
Yeah, shout out to Toby Bartlett coming in and Kwee, the familia. I know she's gonna be watching your fight. She's gonna be tuned in to Tim's coming out to Albuquerque, Kwee. So it's going down. Tim, this is the real deal.
That's another connection too. It's like how cool is it to be coming out to Albuquerque? I've always thought about it. I'm always like, man, I gotta come out there. I gotta come out there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now I'm fighting in Albuquerque. Like it's just everything about it, just makes this a great event. It's gonna be a great week.
Hey, you made it happen, bro. When you put something out there like that, you got to be careful because the majority of the time it come.
That's what I'm trying to
remember.
I'm trying to say without saying,
Hey, 3 years ago, I got hyped up, man. I was like, man, I could fuck up a lot of these guys that are fighting on Border Wars, right? I'm like, I'm fucking old, but a lot of these dudes are soft, man. Like, never, done anything physical, I was in the military, man, and I boxed as a kid, but the military, keeps you physically fit, and that mentality, how to get your body right, and you know how to breathe your cardio. Of course, you run a lot, so it's like, man, I can get back in shape and fight, right? So I started training for Border Wars, and bam, Tim got motivated, man, from that, and went out and fought I wish I had the clips because it's on my old StreamYard, but. Tim competed in Atlantic City, against the WWE or WWF wrestler, one of those guys.
Years ago.
Yeah, got
Crazy.
the body shot destruction on that motherfucker. Just took out his breadbasket. We were tripping out. It was with headgear. Nobody was getting stoppages. Tim went in there and had like the best fight out of all the fucking fights, man. Out of the whole card, man. And so now it's like then we had beef with Hasim Rahman Jr. If you guys go way back. Remy has some old videos, man. If you go to Remy's YouTube channel, we got into some shit with Hasim. Hasim didn't want to fight Tim; he wanted to fight me, and we started going at it, bro. And if you guys I've never been disrespectful to people or cussed on here, lost my cool. But I really want to fuck up Hasim Rahman Jr. Like I still want to chin check his ass if I see him at an event.
Oh, Skywalker!
Yeah, you don't get away with calling me a bitch, and being a little pussy. Oh shit, and it was funny because Bruce is the one that called him and shit, right? And so Bruce is the one that did the drive-by. We called it the drive-by on Hasim.
But we wouldn't give him a break. We wouldn't give him a break. Every week we was on his ass. But that was 35 pounds ago. I was 35 pounds heavier than I am right now. So, I've been training ever since.
Yeah.
But yeah, we stayed on Hasim till he snapped. You made him snap. That's what happened.
Snap, bro. We were talking mad shit. We're like, you don't want to fight a fighter, bro. You want to fight an NFL player. You know what I'm saying? And he was mad at me, bro, over some hoe shit, bro. Because I put his thumbnail of him getting laid out, bro, by that. What was that? The Dallas Cowboy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, the defensive. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he laid him out. So I put that thumbnail because we were trying to get his attention because he was ignoring you. Remember? They were in negotiations. We were trying to set some shit up to where even their fathers would get involved. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We have Hasim Rahman Sr. and Greg Hardy. Yeah, Colin. So we were talking mad shit. That's from back in the day. That's when me and Tim started doing. Started doing that podcast. Nonito would come on and. So there was a little influence going on with that, man. But we almost had that fight made.
Yeah, Skywalker though, the biggest fight of all, and they're right here, Papi Chuneo and Bruce Gas.
That was another one.
We just had little verbal sparring. Is all. You know what I mean? That's what you need, though. You got to have an opposing opinion sometimes. So these are only conversations.
Hey, shout out to Kano Loco TV. Drop your link in there, Kano. It's Kano's channel.
Hey, Carlos, Tim is the main event, bro. Like, Hey, tell them, Tim, you going in there to steal the show. They're gonna be like, man, wait.
Sure. For sure. I don't know what's going on with all that. And at the end of the day, like I said, I was going in there to knock this guy out within 3 rounds and leave. So you can go and you can watch whatever fight you want to watch. But my fight is going exactly how I just said. I'm not going to even let it go past the 3 rounds. And I'm not, I'm a realist. I'm not somebody that would make a bold prediction like that. But that's really what I feel. And whatever happens before or after my fight does not matter. I'm in there and I'm out.
Dang. Yeah. You ain't gonna beat him like he Black MAGA, is you?
Yeah.
No, hold that.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Carlos and Connell coming in, but Carlos, he goes Tim, which is Matt, Brian, Josh. It's a lot of people, man. This town's excited. Rampage Jackson, the main event's off. Okay, so that fell through. I don't know if Rashad Evans is still fighting, but the city's still hyped up, man. Especially Matt's fight, bro. Matt against Ephraim Bowie. That's a highly competitive fight, bro. That's the guy that just lost to Scrappy, but that dude got a lot of experience, a lot of national titles. Ephraim Bowie's got a reputation in Texas, and Matt's got the reputation in New Mexico. So it's like New Mexico going against Texas in that super flyweight division,
Yeah, what's that, like a 3-hour drive?
Yeah. And we got Pitbull Torres, bro. Everybody loves Pitbull, bro. He's the veteran, bro. He helps out all the fighters in town. He was trained by Johnny Tapia. He's got a cool gym, real good mindset. He's on a 5-fight win streak. He even upset a undefeated prospect from Michigan that came into Albuquerque. And he's super tough, bro. When these guys got fights, man, they go hardcore, man. We got high elevation. They're running up mountains and shit. You know what I mean? They're getting prepared.
I heard that the after party's at a place called the Library.
Oh shit, dude! Watch out downtown, bro. That shit's wild.
I thought that
you're nuts, bro. They did that with BYB too, bro. And I have to send it to you, but downtown locks down, bro. They got cops on horses and shit, and it wild out on the streets and all sorts of shit. So be careful. Yeah,
I'm going back to the hotel then.
Film and shit.
Hey, bro. They got real cowboys out there, fam.
All right.
Hey, real joints, man. You know what I'm saying?
You guys don't remember, but every summer you hit me up. I'm in Illinois. I'm used to being out there in the sticks with the Wranglers and all that.
Okay.
But out west is a little bit different.
Yeah. I've been to Albuquerque. We had a basketball tournament out there, man. Yeah, it's
right. There's my brother. There's the Diamond Boy. Speaking of the Diamond Boy, I'm just talking about your fight, Matt. Much love, man. We love you in Albuquerque. And last time I got drunk actually was August 2024. And I had an amazing time, bro. His family's very nice, bro. His friends, everybody around Matt's good people, man. And it was a cool after party. That was classy. The one that he has, that's right. The library is kind of, you could tell him, Matt, you gotta take some brass knuckles with you just in case, man.
Bro. Hey, man, you
supposed to get shot downtown,
bro. The purpose of him knowing you is so he ain't got to go check in nowhere, fam.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm like, yo, if you're not going, then I'm not going.
Go to Matt's. Matt has
a well. I see that he hopped right in. He didn't even take no breaks. As soon as I said, he's like, oh, we might have our own.
yeah, man. Don't have him in those situations out there, Skywalker.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But Matt's is nice, man. They do bottle service, and bro, that's good stuff, bro. Private room and all that.
For sure. So you were going to ask me about Boots' fight?
Yeah, man. I just this is also Boots fight week. I just want to I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Like, how do you feel the fight's going to go down, and what's your prediction, sir?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about his opponent, but I've been in I've been in camp with him. I've been going to his gym every week here, and he looks sharp. He's in shape. We both had the same strength and conditioning coach. I don't use him anymore, but he has my old strength and conditioning coach, and I have faith that they've done everything to get him in shape. I've watched him spar, and he's sharp. He looks good. And I think that at that high level, just like I mentioned on Pro Box last night, that it's going to be a chess match because they're both at a high level, and it's whoever makes that one mistake. And I know that Boots has that gear that he can turn it up if he can capitalize off a mistake. He looks pretty strong, so I think that he'll do good if he can just play chess the whole time and make the right moves.
Right, be that slick style that he has.
Right.
Hey, Matt said you got to go with him. We got to go with us, man. So no
Got
library,
you.
no library for you, bro.
You already know.
All right. So Boots by what? KO by decision? Like what you thinking?
Uh,
Yeah.
I without being able to really know the opponent as well as I should to make a prediction like that,
I don't think
I can't say.
I don't
I
think it's gonna be a knockout, but Carlos.
I'll just say that I think that Boots can win both ways, and they he definitely in shape to go the distance, but he definitely has some power. He was boxing a brawler one of the days I saw him, he was definitely the matador in the situation. So I'm not really like a part of the team or anything like that. They let me in. I'm privileged to be boxing royalty, so I can get in a lot of places. Uh, so they let me in, and what I see, I like. The whole gym. Haven Brady, he trains there under Bozy as well. He fought last night on the Pro Box card. He did good. Christian Cardo's another guy. I think he is just one loss out of like 15 fights or something. Some good talent. Um, a lot of guys that come through there that I don't even, no one knows yet, but they will know them. So the whole stable over there at it's called Philly's Next Champ, but it's also called Bozy's Dungeon. They're together. The whole camp over there is doing good things in Philly, so
Yeah.
can't complain.
Hey, shout out to Rock Chalk coming in. Much love. She's been showing us mad love and sending people over to us. We got D Style Boxing. He's gonna come. He's gonna be a replacement, Tim. We're gonna go over Cooper O'Connell. He's an Australian fighter that just made his pro debut on the Tim Tszyu and Joey Spencer undercard. So we're gonna do like a little film review, and then talk about Tim Tszyu. He's the man when it comes to Australian boxing too, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, he's on it, bro.
Don't take my job, man. You're gonna try to take my job because
Yeah, 86 gonna make it tonight, but he'll be on next week, and we'll be talking about your fight, man, next week, bro. It's gonna be dope.
For sure. But with that being said, you got any more questions? Because I'm a
Hey, we just want to listen. Hey, man, I wish you the best of luck. I'm still gonna do the film study because that's just how I get down. I'm still gonna do the film study, but I definitely wish you the best of luck. I hope you get what you plan for. But I gotta pick it like I gotta pick it, baby. Anyways, besides that, man, we're proud of you over here, man. And if you got people that are, if they're sponsoring you, if they got some, you want to shout those guys out on here.
Yeah, we going straight Witherspoon boxing. For this, I'm proud of that. I don't need any sponsors or anything. I'm wearing my own logo, my own brand, right in there, man, and that's what we're gonna represent. I would like to shout out my other fight that I have coming up, which is I'm running for the school board of Bristol Township, which is a big deal right now. A lot of people are being left out of a lot of situations and pushed out when we need to be learning from people and coming up with solutions. And that's going to be a big fight for me coming up elections in May. So after I knock out Malcolm, I'm going to be, coming around my township, knocking on doors with the ICS light heavyweight title, telling them that I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico to fight for my kids. I'll fight for your kids right here. So,
Yeah.
that's
You need a slogan. Hey, I fought for me and I'm ready to fight for you.
That's it.
You feel me?
That's
Come on.
It's
Get
all
us a
going
slogan,
to
baby.
so that's the next. That's what I'm going to be talking about a lot coming up. So that's where we're at with that.
Yeah, man. Or I'm gonna see you. So I'm gonna be covering them, guys. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram it's Skywalker Boxing Media. Facebook it's Skywalker Boxeo. And then Mo Boxing, no problem. Of course, everything goes to Mo Boxing. And just keep an eye on everything because we're gonna be doing a fan day, a press conference. Tim might slap him. You don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Tim might
man, I need
headbutt him, knee him. You don't know, an elbow.
I need him to make it to the ring.
Hey, don't mess the bag up, fam.
Yeah.
Walker, bad
excited, man. And then I'm gonna be covering Matt. So is Carlos, man, with City Barbershop. Shout out to Carlos, man. We're excited, man, to cover our community of Albuquerque, man. Plus, we got Brian Mendoza coming back home. That's special to us. And then to see talent like Fernando Vargas Jr. and Shane Mosley Jr. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the Tapia legacy. We got the Johnny Tapia Jr. and Nico Tapia performing. They're making their debut. The card's real cool. They got a female. She trains at Jackson Wink with Baby Drago. I don't know her name offhand. Lena, I believe, is her name, but she's on the card and she's a beast. She's a tough girl, man. And
she got a little tough fight coming up though. I seen the girl that she's fighting. It's not going to be, a walk in the park.
Yeah, he said, "What position you running for? School board, right?"
Yeah, I'm running for school board. Yeah. So I'm going to be dealing with budgets and dealing with school lunches if they're going to be free or people are going to have to pay. Situations like that, which, believe it or not, are very political.
Hey, before you go, we gotta tell people because a lot of people are not in Albuquerque. So if you guys want to watch the fight, I'm gonna show you this app real quick. Download this app. You can purchase the pay-per-view on there. I don't know what they're charging, but it's called Lights Out Sports TV, or you can go to BLK Prime. I suggest doing Lights Out Sports TV. They're the main one, and that's how I was able to watch your weigh-in. They got other kind of programming. They got free stuff on here. But they also have like upcoming events. It shows the card right there. See, and then if you click on it, they're charging $50, man. $50 pay-per-view.
$50, goddamn.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Man, they got
it's a
card.
For $50.
Yeah, $29.99. It's a recession out here. You
get a good show with Matt, man, and Bowie. I'm telling you, man, them guys are both super talented. Pitbull, his opponent, Calderon, he's good, bro. He's real hella good. So it's gonna be some good matchups, man. Some good wars. There's no how you say it? No easy walk in the park for none of these fighters. In this card, everything's kind of evenly matched. For the most part.
Except me, I'm whipping Malcolm's ass.
Yes, sir. Experience.
Guys on the next one. I appreciate the love and support, and I'll be on next Sunday after the fight anyway.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you guys then. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
Yes, Lights Out Sports TV app, guys. If you want to watch Tim, he'll be fighting on Saturday, April 12th at the UNM Pit. If you're in town, get your tickets. It's going down.
Yeah, bro.
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a cool card, man. I get to see Nonito too. Nonito's coming through. Hey, Eric, let me see if Eric's still in here. Let me text him.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro. You gotta make sure the homie don't get mixed up into nothing out there.
Oh yeah. So we already told him, man. Like the library, it's cool, bro. Like I went to the bare knuckle fight, and they had a club downtown, and we went. And I don't know if you remember, I took videos in the bare knuckle night.
Mm-hmm.
Cops were marching, everybody's wilding out in the streets. It's just it's wild, bro. If you're into that, I'm older, bro. I don't need that shit. I need to just go somewhere chill.
Yeah, man. A jazz bar. You know what I'm saying?
Drug people and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we just go sit and just relax.
Yeah.
Live band. I like a lot of live music,
Yeah.
When I was living in Texas down in Dallas, like they always had performers there everywhere. They had live band karaoke, bro. So it was like you was getting a concert if the person could actually sing, Yeah, we used to get it in down there, bro. Man, this week is definitely is packed out. We got our people fighting. Man, listen, I might have to use the you know how we got those 4 blocks?
Yeah.
On our app, I might have to have all blocks up so I can see. I am not missing none of the action this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be missing it, bro. I'm gonna have to because not really. I'll be playing the boots fight on my phone, bro.
Yeah.
But what else do we got? What else am I gonna miss, bro? Is anything crossing Boots card?
So Champ Ross just actually he shot the list out not too long before we got on. We got Raymond Ford. We got Ford fighting. I mean, obviously Boots.
You got Pro Box. You got Pro Box too. You got Jordan White.
Matt's on here. So we'll get opportunity. Brian Mendoza, bro.
Yeah, that's all my card. That's the card.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then you got DAZN. You got Raymond Ford as the co-main. Thomas Matisse, right? All right. So that's DAZN. You got DAZN in the evening, and you also have Pro Box, bro, in the evening. So you have 2 cards.
Yeah, we got people we've interviewed. We're gonna be locked in. We're gonna be able to talk about what happened with the fight. Like I said, I'm going to do the film study. I'm gonna watch films. Tibbs' last fight. I'm gonna watch my man's last fight, and I'm gonna come up with some sort of prediction for y'all.
You got Big Shot Shaw coming back, 20-2. He's a co-main on Pro Box. Yeah, it's gonna be a good week, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Australian card? Did you watch the whole card?
I didn't watch the entire card, but I did watch a couple matches. That action. Y'all know what I was up in here trying to do. I was the Spencer fight was the one fight that I wanted to go against the grain on. But you saw how my picks was. I think I might have got one fight wrong or 2 fights wrong this week out of the 22. So I'm usually on. I'm on point.
He gave one away to charity. You know what I mean? For the good of the sport. For the good of the sport.
Yeah. So I recall you saying what you said last week, and I'm happy to eat my crow sandwich. I got some Krispy Kreme over here to wash it down with.
I just think that the issues that Spencer always had are just things you can't fix. Like, in the Ramos fight, I saw a kid that didn't have the best punch resistance, was affected a lot by punches, and I saw a multitude of fights where he was gassed after a couple of rounds, and it's just like that's a recipe for disaster. And there's a reason he was picked as the comeback opponent of Tim Tszyu in Australia, and I think he showed.
When he was young, they were pushing him heavy, man. Like he made a pro debut early, I believe, at 17, and so he was winning titles, winning this, winning that. So he was, they seen a lot of potential in him, but then we seen the damage that he took in the Ramos fight. So
yeah, because it's what it is like when someone's new, like, or not new, but like a prospect, like there's a lot of guesswork. We're just guessing. And we're just looking at an eye test against relatively low-level opposition, so there's only so much we can gauge with it. And I feel like that's why it's important to see guys grow and how the little things that we take for granted are very important. Like, how does a guy react when he gets clocked with a clean punch? How does a guy react when he gets knocked down for the first time? Like, does he stay composed? Does he lose his cool? Like, how did he, when he moved from 6 rounds to 8 rounds? Is he putting in rounds? Does he look like he could keep going after the fight? Does it look like he's barely squeaking out an 8-rounder? Like, those are just little details you got to pay attention to when the fight is growing, pretty much, you know.
Hey, I'll say it if you won't say it. PBC was selling wolf tickets, fam. Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Prospect of the year.
Wolf tickets selling. You feel me? Like, my man was not the goods like we thought he was. And, you know, I realized after the first jab and while Timmy was on it, bro, he was the smart pressure was on, and it just didn't seem like old boy had what it took to fight back and bite down. So, man, bro, let me tell you, Tim Tszyu walked into Spencer's house and drank his Applejack's milk.
Hey.
And if y'all have Applejack, you know that's the dessert right there, is to be able to drink that milk. Boy, Tim drank all the boy milk, bro.
He said Applejack milk. A1, what's up, A1?
And then when he was done with that, he went to the living room, put his feet on his sofa, like he got the remote control, started watching whatever he wanted to watch, and that's that, you know.
All up in the refrigerator. Just drinking out of it straight out the jug.
And it's spitting it out, saying, "What the fuck you got in here, man?" Like, throwing it out.
Bro, that combination he hit him with, that was like some Street Fighter. It was like a 30-piece combo.
I was happy his dad was there too, bro. His dad was there to witness a nice.
Was he? I don't think he was there.
No, he was there. He gave him a hug right after the fight.
Who was there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I didn't.
In the highlight clip. Yeah. I got. You know what? I tried to.
I'm not saying I don't, but I didn't see that. So. Yeah,
because remember the last fight he was there and he lost, bro, and that was the first fight his dad had been able to make it. You know what I mean, right?
Right.
He's out there in Russia. So.
Okay. Well, shit.
Yeah. Shout out to A1 Hoop Zone.
I think when Tim came out with the Australian music, I'm like, okay, he's back. You know what I mean? I think he's back to his roots. Yeah.
Nah, hey, it threw me off, fam. I didn't tell you. I was like, damn, this motherfucker done walked around the corner, around the block, walked to the stadium, finally got to the stadium, the whole 50 Cent song and went on. I was like, bro, is this the last walk? That's what it felt like to me. It felt like some Undertaker type shit. Like, it felt like, you know, death was imminent. And instead, it was more like a resurgence. So I don't know what they was trying to do with that camera work and why, bro. I would be like, man, y'all even put me on a golf cart or something, fam. That's just a little. I might need these legs later on.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That was a heavyweight fight. Walk.
Yeah, the heavyweight fight was pretty good. Domestic guys, but the Tavila and.
Oh yeah, that was good. I like the ring walk of the Samoan, bro. He came out with
you know, he went in there like that guy had knocked him out before. So, you know, he went in there against a guy that had already knocked him out. Then he knocked him out. That's heavyweight boxing right there.
Speed. It was the speed and counters. He'd wait for my man to come in and just time him up too. Bing, bing, bing. He'd shoot a 3-piece off. I mean, hey, listen, that dude that he was fighting was no slouch. He was definitely ogre, bullish type fighter, and he was in there to go. He was trying to end him. And my man was like, yo, you ever seen somebody do the haka? Hey, we ain't scared of nothing. And that's, man, bro, I was impressed with that fight, to be honest. I was impressed with the type of heart and speed that my man had. So, you know, that was a great fight for me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I enjoyed the fight. I thought the card was. I haven't seen all the fights yet, but yeah, I was stuck. I watched everything late afterwards, just because I was stuck working. But it was overall, I thought it was good. I think I haven't seen a Joe Joyce fight yet. Speaking of heavyweights, he lost to Hergovich, but I heard it was a good fight.
Yeah, man. Joyce just seems to have a little bit more left in the tank, but I heard some of his countrymen just telling people to kind of encourage him to figure out a retirement plan because they say, he doesn't have good defense. He stops all the punches with his head, and he's obviously taking damage while he's preparing for fights as well, like during the training sessions. So, you can't have that style and be that big and have guys as large as they are hitting you as hard as they can in your head, and just you gotta have a plan.
So his biggest win is the Dubois win a couple years ago.
Yeah,
and if you remember that fight, I mean, he had the good old Homer Simpson style, right, where he was just getting beat up. He was getting beat up, but Dubois got tired, right? And then eventually Dubois, he had like a messed up eye, and he just took a knee. Okay, I'm good. But I just didn't see him like outbox Dubois. I didn't see him really have a game plan, unless the game plan was, I'm just gonna take everything you got until you're tired of beating me up, and then I'm gonna take over. But I don't think that's not a very long-lasting approach to boxing in general, especially not heavyweight boxing.
Yeah. And then the Hrgović fight, man, what'd you think of that Hrgović fight, though? I mean, it's pretty interesting fight.
I only seen the highlights, but it looked like, but I'll be honest, I thought Hrgović was going to like stop him. I thought he was going to beat him up, but it looked like a much closer fight. I was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, that fight could have very well been a draw.
Wow. You guys think Hrgović was a little overhyped? Because I remember they were calling him the boogeyman, and nobody wants to fight him. He's the next big great thing, like it's just.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at who's putting the money behind him, right? I mean,
that's true, yeah.
When ESPN and Top Rank and those guys decided to back Loma, they really backed him. They said some things that make you want to question their reliability. People saying things like, "Oh, he's the best thing since Muhammad Ali." We like, hold up a second, homie, pump the brakes. Like, we don't talk about amateurs' records and the professionals because that's a whole other thing. But you guys are now starting to say, "Oh, this guy won 300 fights," right? And I would always counter that, be like, "Come on, bro, he's 25 years old, still fighting in the amateurs and beating up on 16 and 17-year-old kids. Like, you are experienced by now. Make the jump, and then get a chance to fight for a world championship in your second fight. And even after you lose, they make these wild statements, bro. Like, that stuff used to bother me. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And even with all the things that have happened, bro, with Loma, he still is. I mean, they got him ranked number 3. Like, it's like there's nothing that he could possibly do that would get him.
He's ranked number 3. What, lightweight?
Yeah. It's crazy, and it's like, yo, you're smothering the division out when you have these young, hungry guys that are really trying to, break top 5, trying to get a shot at a title, and it just doesn't seem like there's a clear path to it.
I guess in defense to Loma, I mean, he was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Like that's as big as it gets, and he was a 2-time, not just gold medal. He was like the basically what I forgot what they called it exactly, like boxer of the tournament, or kind of like the MVP of the Olympics, like twice. And not to mention the world championships. He had 1 loss as amateur, which was in the finals, which he did avenge. But although the Brazilian, I forgot his name, had a win that they eventually overturned. That's not here nor there, but I do agree with you that getting a world title shot in just his second fight was premature, and there has to be more, like, you have to like earn it more, like just in general, like have a couple more fights, beat some ranked opponents that have been waiting to get their title shots. But I will say that he did have the talent to compete with those guys already, because in his third fight he beat Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah, but we have to remember Gary Russell was he was sick for that. I remember those things. Gary Russell was sick. He was compromised in that fight.
Was he? Or was Loma just better?
He was Russell was compromised in that fight.
I mean,
and then
I don't think Russell could be.
I got a spreadsheet on Loma, bro. Just because I had got tired of hearing people make it seem like it was one-way traffic to Mount St. Helen. You know what I'm saying, to join the gods. I was like, wait a minute, they doing a little bit too much. I mean, the average age of the people that Loma fought is like 33.4. And then the times that he did get in there with someone who was younger and athletic, they gave him fits. And when you go back and look at, the fights, what you hear is, oh, he's just downloading the information, but he's putting foot pressure. Really, what happened with him is he really never got a pro style. He used this amateur style the whole time. And while he's doing all this smart foot pressure and then jumping to the outside and things like that, the announcers are over there talking about how he's processing all this. They're having
that happened in the Teofimo fight. I believe that's what you're referring to. I did pick Teofimo to win that fight, which he did win. But I don't think that's happened in his other fights. I think that's the only fight where I heard about downloading data. I still hold what I say. I mean, if Gary Russell was sick, then Gary Russell should have pulled out. That's not Loma's fault that he was sick. He still got beat by a guy who was in his third professional fight. Gary Russell did. At the end of the day, I mean, I'm sure Gary Russell fought a lot of other guys that maybe weren't 100% when he fought them. That's just the kind of the name of the game. Loma had a messed up shoulder when he fought Teofimo. It's just what it is. He made some excuses about it. I didn't like it, but that's what fighters do. I thought he clearly won the Haney fight.
That was a good fight too, man. That was a chess match.
Yeah. Right I like that. It was a really good fight. Yeah.
I didn't have it that way. I definitely didn't have it that way.
That was a fight that was talked about for fucking like 7-8 months right after, and everybody's rescoring it. And
there's some people that feel Haney won. I will say, yeah, but the consensus, like most people, feel that Loma won. I think that's a consensus.
Man,
overall.
bro, I don't know who you think you talking about. DGO 0082. You got the wrong one over here, fam. Yeah, when you make a C-level fighter quit on the stool, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So when some of these guys get some padded records, like I said, the average age of Loma's fighters was 33.8. So we're talking about people who have been fighting for 15, 16, 18 years. And they've been fighting since they're 5 years old. They're beat. They ain't got nothing left in the tank. It's not like they're fresh spring chickens. You know what I mean? So you ain't gonna do that. Not with me, homie. It ain't happening. Go analyze his victories.
Loma's a fighter that grew on me. Believe me, I had a lot of criticisms about him, but there's no doubt he's a great fighter. I mean, I think he could fight his ass off for sure. And I still think he has a lot left in him. I think he still has like another 3 or 4 years. And I think the Loma Tank fight should have happened like 5-6 years ago, but didn't happen.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I had Loma up one round on that fight, but I had friends that had Haney up 1 or 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that was one of the hard. It was a lot of rounds that you can give it to either opponent. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this though, like Loma did have some rounds where he was schooling the kid. I mean, Haney made some adjustments afterwards, but there was some rounds where holy shit, Loma's looking good. Because I remember before the fight, I was doing panels where nobody wanted to pick Loma. It was about, and it wasn't even Haney's. It was Haney's going to outclass him 11 rounds to 1. It's not even going to be close. Loma's washed, or he was never any good. And I do think Lomachenko, love him or hate him, gave a really good of account of himself in that fight. And I thought it was a great fight. Really good chess match.
Yeah, I know it's hard for people that don't they're not watching the sport the same way we watch it. It's a little bit hard for you guys to see through what the commentators are saying. It's a little bit hard for you guys. Sometimes you just got to turn off what they're saying and have a look at the fight for yourself. You'd be surprised what type of outcomes you have if you go back and listen to it. Because I'm telling you right now, at 130 pounds and 135 pounds, by the time you get to round 6, you done only threw 30 punches, bro. Maybe 100. You know what I'm saying? That's fairly that's lazy. You gotta throw more than 100 punches in 6 rounds if you fight at 130 pounds. We got people who have put up 7, 8, 900 punches in the fight. So yeah. I'm telling you, a whole bunch of not fighting and a whole bunch of commentary makes for people having disagreements with each other.
Is that about like commentators that like gaslight people and what they're watching?
Yeah, no matter what happens.
Because a fighter that I felt the commentators convinced a bunch of people that he was better than what he was. And I think he's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but I think they made him more than what he was Edwards. I forgot his first name. The guy that got beat up by
Charlie Edwards?
Yeah, Charlie Edwards. Is it Charlie Edwards?
Sonny, his brother.
Sonny Days. Good old Sonny Days. Sonny Edwards, I remember, would be like against the ropes, right? His opponents would pin him against the ropes and they'll start throwing. And he was getting hit. Like I'm looking at him getting hit, right? And the commentators are like, oh, Sonny, he just wants to make this a fun fight. He doesn't have to be there. But he wants to be there. He's doing this just to play. And I'm like, no, he's not. Nobody puts himself against the ropes to get hit.
Right.
And this was against like C-level opposition. I'm thinking, what's going to happen when he steps up? And somebody can match him with speed and somebody can match him with power. Like he doesn't even have power. Somebody has the speed and the power that comes with it. So when he fought Bam Rodriguez, I was like, oh, he's going to get destroyed in this fight. Like, it's not even going to be close. And I saw the odds and I'm like, it's 5-1 odds for Bam to stop Sonny Edwards. And in my head, I'm like, how is Sonny going to even stop Bam from coming at him? He's not going to be able to hurt him, right? He's not faster than Bam. He's not more skilled than Bam. What the hell is he going to do to him, right? And this time, Bam's like the A side or whatever. So like the commentary is not going to be there to gaslight people and to believing that they're not seeing what they're actually seeing. And Lord and behold, I mean that fight, that was a beatdown. That fight,
yeah.
I was good live, by the way. It was a great fight, but Sonny Edwards, a good fighter that I think some of the British commentary just kind of overinflated. They made him more than what he really was,
Yeah, he never had pop though. That's something that everybody knew about Sonny. Like he ain't gonna put you to sleep, but he can move around you and shit. Yeah.
He had the wrong game plan that fight. I thought Sonny was a fairly decent, boxer from the outside. He didn't do any of that during that fight. I was like, this is weird. Why is he? I was like, this is not even the way he fights. Why is he fighting Bam like this? This is strange.
You know what I think it was? I just think Bam just had the footwork to keep up with him, and he kind of felt compelled, like okay, well, I got to keep him off of me. But he doesn't have the firepower to do that. So he should have made it a very negative fight. Maybe it wouldn't have been the most fun fight to watch, but it would have been his best shot to win.
Right.
But I just don't think even if he fought the perfect fight from round 1, I still think Bam would have cut off the ring on him and eventually have caught him. But maybe he goes the distance. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things we'll never know. But he definitely does have power.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So that's definitely was a great example of how the ring announcers be. It's just I enjoyed. That was one of the things I enjoyed about UFC is that you just have a person that's just calling out the moves and they'll actually explain to you how the person can get out of this and what they need to like. That type of commentary is great. It's great for casuals to hear, because they're actually learning about this. They're learning the right stuff about the sport versus somebody making up some type of storyline to go along with, you know, whoever there is promoting. Just call it right down the middle, man. You know, we let us be able to decide by you giving us the right information. Don't try to be deceitful.
Yeah, like I know, like when it comes to grappling, the commentary could kind of they have to fill in like more like time with their talking because it's moving a lot slower a lot of the times than it is like in a boxing match. You know what I mean? And striking in general. So they do like I know Joe Rogan does like especially does like a really good job at explaining. Look at this lock. This guy, he needs to get his hand on this side, and he's trying to create leverage with the hips over here, and then, but they have time for that. Where like in boxing, like literally, by the time you finish a sentence, they're already like 5 punches ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I do think boxing commentary they need to do a better job at, I think, painting the like an accurate depiction of what's happening in the fight and what they need to do strategically for X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. But I don't think we get that, though.
I'd settle for them just giving credit to the other guy instead of making it seem like there's not two people in the ring that really want to win. You know, give some credit to the other guy. That fixes a lot of stuff, too. Like, hey, look, man, this guy, he's fighting is tough. He has good footwork. He can take a punch. He has great counter skills. You know, you just want to hear. I just want to hear some of those things. You know,
I do agree with you on the downloading data because I've heard Tim Bradley use it in fights. I've heard it's just to me, it's like a cheap way of taking away credit from the guy who's actually winning the round.
Yep.
You know, if the other guy is sacrificing the round because he's setting something up, then we'll find out if that's the case.
They were saying that the Lamont Roach fight, he takes downloaded. Watch out, these downloaded.
Yeah, like right now he's in our box.
Lulls in action where you're following each other around the ring and nobody's jabbing, and next thing you know, you're in the clinch and nobody's throwing a punch. Like,
yeah,
to me, it's like every round is basically scored separate, as you guys know. So if the dude is losing round 4. Right? We're in the middle of round 4. The guy's losing the round.
Yeah.
You could have your analysis of, I think he's just downloading data. He's setting something up for later in the fight. Okay, that's all well and good, and that's how you feel. But at the moment, he's getting outboxed and he's losing round 4. You know? And a lot more than half of the time, nothing ever comes anyway. Like Tim Bradley's telling us, the guy's downloading data, and like nothing happens later on in the fight. You know, it's like what you've been telling us he's downloading data, but nothing ever came of it. You know,
right?
But at least word it better. At least say, like, if they feel that way, right? At least word it better. At least say, look, man, he's getting outboxed right now. I think he's sacrificing a round because he's trying to set something up. But right now he's losing round 4.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what they should do. Yeah.
Hey Eric, so Cooper O'Connell, man, he made his debut. Is there how can we watch this fight? You can play. Is there any way we can?
I don't have the entire fight, but we have some kind of footage we can share.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Can you tell my audience too a little bit about Cooper O'Connell and because I know his mom too, the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? Sure. You tell everybody that's not familiar with Cooper?
So obviously Cooper's 18 years old right now. He's the son of Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. He's 18 years old. He's from Australia. So if someone from the States doesn't know about him, don't feel bad. You know what I mean? But I think you're going to get to know him as time goes by. I saw him at the Under-19 World Championships, which he basically, for the most part, just dominated in most of those fights. Some of them were more challenging than others. The final was a tough one as well, but he came out on top. So he became the gold medalist. And as you guys know, the World Boxing, that's the name of the organization that's now recognized by the IOC, which is now part of the Olympics. So now boxing will continue in the Olympics. So that's always a good thing, right? But he's just an 18-year-old kid. Great amateur career. I've been watching a lot of his amateur fights in Australia and in world tournaments, like in the one in Colorado, and he gets a lot of 8 counts. And for those that aren't familiar with amateur boxing, In amateur boxing, when you punch and you hurt a guy and you buckle their knees or they're visibly hurt, right?
Yeah.
They don't allow you to just continue. The ref halts the action and they do a standing 8 count.
Yeah.
Right. That's something they don't do in the pros.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like the 8 count, but my opinion aside, it just basically means they stop the action 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. And then you continue the action. It doesn't count as a knockdown. You don't get an extra point for it. It's just done for safety reasons. I argue it's the opposite. I think you cause more brain damage that way, but it's whatever.
Also, it makes the judges look at you different too, though. When the judges are looking at the fight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get a standing 8, they're looking at the other opponent like, oh, this guy's dominating them, you know. So they're gonna.
It could have you could be dominating a whole round, and the guy gets a standing 8 because the ref feels you were too hurt. Right. And then all of a sudden that could sway the judges as well overall. But my point is he would score, let's call it that, a lot of standing 8s. And while I was observing this, I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, he would have a lot more stoppages if they wouldn't keep halting the action for the standing 8, right? And Lord and behold, in his pro debut, he was stunning the dude and no one's around to stop it for a standing 8. So he's able to press the action and take him out. You know what I mean? And there's no like timeout. There's no standing 8.
Yeah.
So like, and also the gloves they're smaller, they're more compact. So like I think it has more of an impact. No headgear, and I saw him do an interview where you mentioned that, and so we can, if you guys want to check out some of his pro debut.
Yeah, if you can present it, I can.
Yeah, I got it. Let me just make sure. There we go. You guys see it?
Yeah.
So this is one part. We'll just kind of watch it.
Just misses with the uppercut as O'Connell. Amos comes forward and goes bang. That's a monstrous shot.
So that's one. He's going to get back up, and this is like the ending of the fight.
Have a look.
And the ref stopped it right there. This is another angle right here.
Because he got up.
So there it is. All right. So he is southpaw, and however, he is right-handed. He's learned to box southpaw, but he's a right-handed fighter.
Nice.
There you go.
Man, shout out to him, man. Future looks bright for him. He's got a nice amateur pedigree. We've heard a lot of other fighters that we brought on to interview, man. They're saying, this kid is good. So I got my eyes on him.
Yeah, boy, he looked like he going around. He went around the guard on it. Yeah.
Did he get a deal with no limit?
I know he signed with Fight Life Management, which is Glenn Jennings, which is the same manager as Tim Tszyu. He's in good hands.
So shit, he's set, man. He's gonna be getting a lot of fights in Australia then.
Yeah, it might be time, man. I mean, so like we said before, Tim's definitely got something left in the tank, but they gotta do a better job of giving some of these guys a shot. Some of these guys are ready. They got some dope Olympians that are coming out of Australia, man. Excuse me. They definitely got some talent over there.
Yeah. Look, I know that people can look at that and say, well, I mean, they put him in there with like this Amos guy. Poor guy just got beat up, right? But it's a pro debut. That just everyone kind of knows what that's about, right? It's a pro debut. But like, believe it or not, like sometimes dudes have a pro debut and they totally like just lay an egg. If you guys remember, Robeisio Ramirez was a gold medalist, the one that defeated Shakur Stevenson.
Yep.
In pro debut, he lost.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, there is going to be, like, there's always that, like, okay, it's a pro debut. You don't know how they're going to perform. You don't know if it's a Tim Tszyu undercard. Is he going to freeze? Like, you don't know, right? You don't know until you know, right? Until you're there. So, What I was impressed with was just him having the composure, and the bright lights just didn't affect him. Like he just went out there, did his job. It looked to me like he just let the knockout come, and I think the ref should have stopped it after the second knockdown. I have no idea why the ref let him get back up and get punched some more. Then he just stops it. But either way, I still agree with the stoppage, and I thought it was a good performance. And he knew the assignment, he executed, and there you go.
Yeah, he looked good, man. And his mom, man, he was raised in boxing, so it's kind of cool, man. It's kind of fulfilling his mother's legacy. His mom's a great boxer, so pretty cool.
Grew up in a gym, so that's the gym life,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got to support him when he came here to America, bro. You went out to Colorado, so
Pueblo. That's right. Good kid.
Yeah. And Tim Tszyu, man, he did his thing, man. Shit, he did his thing. Tim Tszyu's back. I like the idea, man. When you're talking about in your show about future opponents, and we're like, I was just joking about the idea of Jermell. You know what I'm saying? A Jermell comeback fight, but I like the idea of him fighting Keith one-time Thurman, as and if he gets through Thurman, let him get a rematch at Fundora. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
154 is, man. You can't forget about Erickson Lubin, bro. Like there's some action at 154. Definitely some action.
Ramos, yeah.
Yeah, there's action at 154.
Charles Conwell.
Conwell is my sleeper. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a Conwell fan.
I like him.
I think he's the number one guy in the division. He just needs his opportunity to prove it.
Yeah. Well, right now, to me, Fundora is right there for the taking. Right. A lot of these top guys, I think, beat Fundora. Like it's a matter of time for me. But ideally, I would like to see Tim Tszyu fight Thurman in July. It looks like that's what they're going to do. If everything goes according to plan, it looks like that's what they want, and then maybe a Fundora fight later in the year. And if Tim avenge that loss, then that's a good way to finish off the year. I mean,
what do you think happens in the Thurman Tszyu fight?
I think the Thurman fight, believe it or not, this doesn't sound crazy but I think it's a tougher fight than the Fundora fight. Because without that cut, I don't think Fundora could beat Tim Tszyu. I just know. I saw what I saw in those first 2 rounds. I know what I was watching. He was beating the shit out of Fundora before the cut. I think we'll have a continuation of that. But Foreman, however, this is a guy that's his only loss is to a legend, Manny Pacquiao. A lot closer than people remember. And he was flatlined in the first round, got back up, and made it a fight. You know what I mean? People forget about those quiet rounds that Thurman was winning against Pacquiao, but still, this is a guy that knows how to win rounds. He's and I get he's been very inactive, but he's won, aside from the Pacquiao, he's won every big fight he's been in. He's got experience. He's got the cobwebs off by beating up Jarvis like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that Tim Tszyu wins that fight, but I think it's a good fight. I think Thurman might surprise some people. I really do. I think
people if it wasn't for Keith one time per 3 years Thurman, people would be talking about Keith like he was some type of Keith fought everybody.
Sean Porter, Danny Garcia,
everybody, and they didn't call him one time for nothing. He was at some point in the fight, he was gonna jump in there with them things and and he's gonna see if you could hold it.
Did you see before they threw in the towel? You see how Spencer gave like that surrender look to Tszyu, like okay, I'm good, and like that's not gonna happen with Thurman. Yeah. Like that's not in Thurman's DNA. Thurman is not gonna surrender. He's not gonna give up. I've seen Thurman in trouble, and people have made fun of him because Collazo hurt him with a body shot. But you know what he did? He got through it. He got through the round, and then he came back and started to beat up Galasso, right? He's been in wars. He's had his eye busted up where he couldn't see from an eye. He was flatlined by Pacquiao. A lot of guys would have folded right there. He got back up, made a fight of it. He was hurt to the body later on by Pacquiao, but he got through it, right? This is a battle-tested guy, a veteran, and he's not. Tim's gonna have to beat him into submission. He's not going to submit. Like he's not going to mentally defeat Keith Thurman.
Thurman is highly skilled.
Yeah. And again, and yes, you're right. He's a high IQ fighter, Thurman, and he's gonna pull up every veteran bag he could pull out. He's gonna pull it out against Tim Tszyu. All of it.
Bro, he looked good at 154, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He might have had needed to be at 154 a long time ago.
Yeah, Virgil's doing his thing, man. Shout out to Virgil Jr., man. He's one of my top dogs at 154, man. He's proved himself, man. For a lot of people were questioning him. So
I still feel like if him and Pacquiao would have had like an immediate rematch, I think Thurman would have won. If they would have rematched like 6 months later or something, I think Thurman would have won that fight.
Well, PBC, they move real funny, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. The last minute baiting, switching, and seems like somebody is getting a last minute opponent that is able to throw 800 punches in the fight. Like, you didn't just find out the fight was 2 weeks ago. Like, how are you doing that? I know, being in camp for something and training for something, those are two different things. It just seems like, I seen Ugas. It seems like he was ready. Like he'd been training for Manny Pacquiao his whole life.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. You don't get that level of replacement like that. It don't even make sense.
Yeah, Ugas, that's the best he's ever looked.
It was.
It
was like, well, who is this guy? He's gonna be tough to beat if he fights like this.
Yeah, that's right. It was just I don't know if Manny just had a bad. I mean, Manny was old, obviously. You know what I mean? He had been very inactive, but
8 divisions, right? 8 divisions.
Yeah.
We may never see that again.
There's 2 things I don't think we'll ever see again. That and fighting in 5 decades, like Roberto Duran. I don't think we'll ever see that shit again. That is insane. That dude fought in 5 decades.
Right. And man, I know he was still trying to get work. Like he that's different.
Like when he got COVID, people are like, oh man, COVID might take Roberto Duran. Like, nah, he'll get through it. That is a fighter, man. But he's Roberto Duran, man. Did you see him? Chavez, De La Hoya, there was some others. They just had the biggest boxing class in history over there in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like hosting a boxing class in front of like tens of thousands of people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was sponsored by the Mexican government, WBC, and that's a lot of people to get together to just shadow box, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cultural thing too, Yeah. People want something to look for. I mean, it happened in America, like everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan, everybody wanted to be AI, like the jersey I got on, you know what I'm saying? It's just, everybody wanted to be Walter Payton. Like there's these guys that set a standard out there, and people are trying to they think they could be better than that. And so that's what I'm here for it. That just means everything is supposed to progressively get better.
100%.
We've seen the first real whole generation of people who grew up watching UFC, and the sport is evolving crazy. I'm excited to see where it goes, because you're incorporating all these different styles from all over the world, and people are blending and are learning, and they got YouTube. They can go see somebody train something new and figure out something else. So I'm excited for where sports could go.
Mm-hmm.
We just need the things that revolve around it to be right and fair and proper.
Yeah. I am noticing though that if you look at the early, like, kind of pre-Marcus of Queensberry history of boxing, right, where, believe it or not, like wrestling and kicking and stuff like that were allowed. It has a very similar trajectory that currently the UFC that early prize fighting had, where it started to evolve into more and more stand up and more striking, and that became the dominant form of fighting in prize fighting, right? I find it very interesting how even though the UFC started as to showcase Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Remember the Gracies?
Yeah. But it's like it's gotten to a point where now that everyone kind of in that sport knows how to grapple and everyone knows takedown defense, now the grappling isn't that, like, you have your guys like Khabib, although you retired, but that were successful with it. But for the most part, it seems to me like the strikers are dominating the sport, and that's what the sport is pushing. It's like the guys go to the ground, they stand them up faster than ever now. Like, if they want to keep it standing, the crowd start booing when it goes to the ground. Yep. And it's very similar to like in the old days, right? Which didn't have cameras back then, but promoters were like, they started getting rid of the grappling because you have these crowds and they see two dudes in the ground, especially back then. There's no big monitor. They don't know what the hell's going on. Right. So that they started getting rid of all the grappling and stuff for entertainment purposes. Like, people want to see a fight, and it's better to watch when two guys are standing, like, you know what I mean, than in the ground, and you can't really see what the hell's going on.
But I got to give credit to Joe Rogan and all those guys, the Daniel Cormier's, because they really taught us. They taught us what jiu-jitsu was. Yep. They really taught us what it was. Oh, he's trying to set up a Kimura. Okay, a Kimura is when you do this, and blah, So I think they really educated. They did a pretty good job of educating the casuals on what it was that they were seeing. Yeah, like, some people may not understand that you're not supposed to throw an uppercut from, as a lead punch from way out. Like, people may not understand why you're not supposed to do it. So if somebody's explaining that to you, then you're getting a better understanding for it. I feel like that element is missing a little bit. You get it with some announcers, like, some of the old fighters. They do a really good job of explaining those things, and it seems like some of the commentary doesn't line up with the expert who's the actual fighter. So you got the news station media person who wants to be, a diva. Don't get me started on old boy, because I go in on him. But they wants to be a diva, and then you got the actual fighter who's saying, how a fighter feels in this moment and what's going on there, and this person's arguing with him, and then this person's like, just watch, you'll see.
To me, like, I remember one time I was listening to commentary from, and I don't get why, it's my opinion, but Sean Porter could be so bad. Like, it is. I saw him do commentary saying that Tim Tszyu and Spencer have the same style. I'm like, what? Like, Tim Tszyu has like a Soviet style that he got, like, from his dad, and he's trained by Russians. Like, what are you talking about? Joey Spencer's from like the Midwest, a little more athletic style, just different. But one thing he said one time was about how Mayweather invented the Philly shell.
Oh, he definitely didn't.
And I'm just like, it's called a Philly shell. Like, even if you don't know about the history of boxing, even if you don't know, like, just calling it the Philly shell will tell you, oh, that's not Mayweather's.
Yeah, he's from Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, but that's
James Toney.
Yeah,
James Toney.
Tim Witherspoon, Turbo Tim, man.
George Benson, had this style right here.
Yeah, it was started by made popular anyway by George Benton in the 50s. Mm-hmm. That's like giving credit for a fighter for inventing a jab. Like what are you doing? Like, what I mean? It is. I don't know why he said Mayweather invented it, or like I don't even know what that was about, but Porter, I don't know what it is, bro. Like, you're a former pro fighter, but then you know what? It didn't shock me. This not that long ago, he said he doesn't really know about the history of the sport. and he doesn't really study the sport like that. And I think if you're going to be an expert commentator, even if you're a former fighter, right?
Gotta know
you should be a student of the game. You should know about the history of boxing, right? You can't go wrong knowing some basics anyway. You know,
if you have that kind of job, it would benefit you to do some research every night. You know, put some old classic fights on. Fucking learn your shit, man.
I mean,
you know, fuck, bro. That's what you do for a living, right?
Yeah. And K-Mac just spit facts right there. Like the gloves came in to make the fights longer. The gloves also helped with, like, believe it or not, fighters became more active because of the introduction of gloves. Because before the gloves, when they were doing bare knuckle, like you know, in bare knuckles, they have them to, like, shout out to Austin Trout, by the way. I know he
defended his title.
He defended his belt, but like you hurt your hands more, you get cut. Like it just, and it takes longer to recover from those things. So the introduction of the glove did change the game. Fighters became way more active. But the only reason I mentioned that is because, like, for years I've been hearing about, UFC is going to take over, boxing is going to die. And to me, it's like, well, I don't think it's going to die, because it seems to me that over the years, they keep wanting UFC to look more and more like boxing. They want more and more guys to use their hands. They want more and more guys to set up hooks and right hands. And a lot of their top stars are dudes that are good with their hands. Like the more and more, if you've noticed, that's like Conor McGregor was a striker.
Yeah.
With a boxing background.
What an unbelievable amount of money promoting him, bro. Listen, that stuff right there. Like, listen, as a foreign entity, a person who is not a citizen of the United States of America, how do you break into Madison Square Garden with a group of guys, pick up a dolly that used to wheel very heavy things away, throw it through a window, and injure some people on the bus, and still get to maintain your citizenship in America? How do you?
I mean, that one's bad. And then what about the one where he was trying to force an elderly man to drink his whiskey?
Drink his whiskey. Yep.
And then he slapped him, bro. Like any other athlete in any other sport, that's it. You're done.
He beat an old man's ass for not drinking his whiskey.
I've watched organizations put money behind people who had terrible attitudes, like Ronda Rousey. You know, I used to be a huge Ronda Rousey fan, you know, before she even got to the UFC. I remember when Dana White said that there would never be a woman fighting on UFC. I remember that. And I remember Ronda being the conduit. Yeah, she was a catalyst for all that. And she made it happen. And then, you know, you just start hearing these stories like, you know, domestic abuse cases, and you see her getting all these huge sponsorship deals like maybe Apple or Gatorade or something. She's like, yo, how's this happening right now? Like, this person is
when they put her on the Ring magazine cover, remember that?
Yeah. Bro, they said they had her talking about she could beat up Floyd, and they said she was the best fighter to ever do it. Like, her and Conor McGregor got the best media promotion tour that you could possibly get.
The craziest thing to me was you remember when she was going to fight Holly Holm, right?
Yeah.
And I had people telling me, like, they're like, oh, she's going to keep it standing on purpose and she's going to box with her. And I'm like, if she does that, she's going to lose.
Right.
If she's stupid enough to, like, not use her judo and have the threat of taking down Holly Holm, she's going to lose. There's no doubt about it.
She's a hell of a boxer.
Because Holly Holm not only a great boxer, she's also a great kickboxer.
Yeah, kicked her face in.
But like before she kicked her, like she gave her a boxing lesson before she kicked her face in.
Yeah,
you know, like I just remember the way she embarrassed her, and I'm just thinking to myself, can you imagine this was in a boxing ring? Yeah. Where she couldn't even attempt takedowns? Like Holly would have like annihilated her in a boxing ring. And the reason I bring that up because they put on the Ring magazine cover when I don't even think Christy Martin was on the cover of Ring magazine. I don't think Layla Ali. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Layla Ali ever got the Ring magazine cover. I don't think they've ever put Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, like by herself. I think they put her with Amanda Serrano after their great fight. But as a featured fighter, they never put these women there. Amanda Serrano, I don't think was ever featured, and she was an active fighter at the time. But you put this MMA chick on the cover of the Ring magazine,
bro. Hey, Bruce Jenner was the woman of the year. So
Which
you
was
feel
worse?
me? We can't. You gotta look at who owned the magazine. You know what I'm saying? They might be doing some funny style stuff out on the middle of the water, out out of the jurisdiction. They might be doing some funny style stuff too. So you never know.
Well,
Yeah.
that guy,
Hey, yeah,
Mr. Clap guy.
before we start a riot out here.
But I mean, I remember seeing that. I'm like, what is going on? And all these delusional people. Oh, she could go to boxing and become world champion. Like you think?
Yeah.
You think she could become a world champion in boxing?
Hey, but you see, hey, I promise you, bro. I give Clarissa Shields. If anybody out here give Clarissa Shields some credit, it's me, bro. Yo, the whole her going and doing MMA for real. I mean, bro, how is there not more promotion? But I don't see her in commercials. She should have some sort of commercials, a cereal.
I think I know why, but
you think, but she's a fighter.
I agree, but I just think she rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
So if Ronda Rousey getting domestic violences against her boyfriend,
she rubbed me the wrong way.
Boyfriend
sure.
up, you can't. What's wrong with? Or
I mean, that's a good point. It's kind of like imagine if Mayweather slapped an old man for not drinking his whiskey.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? I see what you're saying.
You see what he's saying? Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Papa.
I mean, just imagine that, bro. Like if you saw what her attitude was.
Same thing with Amanda Serrano, bro. Amanda didn't get a lot of recognition for the longest, bro. It took Jake Paul to put her in the limelight, bro. Pretty much.
Well, we gotta do better. People gotta do better, man. You can't just keep propping up the bad person. Like you need somebody that's got some good character. Prop them up. Try that. Just try it out. Try it.
You know that I haven't watched the fight in years, but I used to get so irritated watching Mayweather McGregor because I'm looking at Floyd carry this dude, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's not like, what are you doing? Why are you carrying this guy for? Right? And then it all made sense when it at least I saw anyway. It was that he bet on himself on the over.
Mm-hmm.
So like, well, you can do. Apparently, you can, but you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's like insider trading.
I'm like, that's worse. That's
like insider trading. Well, I mean, how many of us are privy to know when someone has an injury, or if they had a bad weight cut, or if they had COVID, or if they got, how many of us are privy to that information? So that information is out there, but everybody doesn't have access to it.
Like I like the way Anthony Joshua did it with Ngannou. He just took care of business. Boom, you're done. You're out. That's it. I'm not going to play around here. That's it. You're out.
Ain't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, of course. It's like when James Toney. I mean, big fan of James Toney, but he had no business in the octagon. You know what I mean? Randy did what Randy had to do. Like it's just, it's what it is. You know what I mean?
One leg kick, and you're gonna be like, wait 1 damn minute.
I mean, I'm watching that fight, and James Toney gets in a boxing stance. I'm like, what are you there? he got him in a single leg. It's a wrap. Like, what are we doing? I thought like James was gonna do something different. I thought, well, maybe he's been in street fights or something. Maybe he's gonna, like, I don't know, I just bum rush him or something, see what happens. But he got it on his boxing stance, so
he gets straight at you.
Just put a leg right in front of him. Like, yeah, that's
Yo. Hey man, Jay, listen, man. Shout out to James Toney, bro. Like he's one of the best to ever do it, bro. He gonna have an attitude. He taking that to the grave with him.
And you know what? And Clarissa Shields in her pro debut as an MMA fighter impressed me because she had no experience. Like, she literally did not know. You could tell she did not know what to do on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the moment the other girl, I don't know if she gasped or she just panicked or what, but the moment Shields got on her and just started raining punches down her, that girl quit immediately. right? And to me, it's like, okay, like the reason Shields won that fight, she had a dog in her. You know what I mean? Like this other girl didn't, because Shields was in way more trouble on the ground than that girl was when she was on the ground. But the other girl panicked, even though she was a brown belt and all the other stuff. She panicked, you know, and she wanted a way out. So
Clarissa trains with Cyborg. Like they used to spar
here at Jackson Wink with John Jones too.
Yeah,
she was out here in Albuquerque, bro, training, which tripped me out, man. Back, you know, when she made that transition, I remember that they were all like, "Oh, the goats in the gym."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it just, I guess to me, it's like, I mean, it's still a long way to go to learn the ground game and all that other stuff. It's not impossible to pick up a lot of the stuff quick.
Yeah.
But she probably will, but I don't know how serious she's into that versus her boxing. You know, like it's just one of those.
Yeah. Because you got to get a brown belt. You got to get them. You got to earn your way through them belts. And
Hey, shout out to Ray Mercer, though, man. When he knocked out Tim Silva.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was awesome. That's another guy. Just like, you know, Rousey was like, oh, I'm going to box the boxer. Ray Mercer in that fight, like, he played with Tim Silva's head. He got in his head, right? In the press conference, because if you guys remember, it was supposed to be a boxing match.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they switched that on him. Like, last minute, they were like, oh, never mind. It's going to be an MMA fight. And I think they thought Mercer was going to be like, well, fuck, I'm not going to do this. But Mercer's like, I'm going to do it. But he points over at Tim. You said you wanted to be a boxer. You could outbox me. So I'm expecting you to come out and box, right? Mm. And he kept calling him out. Like I don't want to do all the, just the way he said, I just laughed, you know, he's like, I don't want to do the kicking and the screaming and none of that. I just want to box, right?
Excuse me.
And so when the fight started, if you watch it, Tim Silva throws a leg kick. And Ray Mercer gives him like a, come on, man, like kind of like really. Right. And then Tim Silva then got in a boxing stance and decided, okay, like he played with his head and made him fight his fight. And then he just knocked him the fuck out once he did that. You know, and then he did a ground and pound. I don't know if you guys have seen it. He hit him with that.
Bro, hey, man. You get a professional boxer.
Mercer was calling out Wilder back.
You gotta respect the different disciplines. You have to respect them. You got styles where people throw elbows.
Yeah,
and that's something completely different. You get hit with an elbow. That's something complete. You get kicked in the forehead by a shin. I seen a dude get kneed and have the forehead did the negative. It was going in.
Like, Ray Mercer is one of Wilder's biggest critics, man.
Yeah. Look, oh yeah. I think Wilder gets a lot. Like, I didn't like all the excuses and all that he made after the fight with the Fury, but
which excuse was that? You're gonna have to clarify.
The outfit.
Where do we start? I mean, like that he had egg weight in the glove and.
I mean, so are you telling me? I want to make sure I understand who I'm talking to here. So are you telling me that you didn't see Fury's glove flopping? And have you ever? I had never in my life, I've watched thousands of fights. I've never seen somebody.
Well, that was the first fight. That was the first fight.
So what is that, bro?
It did look funny though.
Somebody, you have to have an explanation. What is that? Like, how was the
glove was just loose? It was just a little loose. That's all. But he didn't do any damage to him in that fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it wasn't floppy in the second fight. In the second fight, because in Kronk, they believe in tightening the gloves and skinning them basically, right? And one of the things they wanted to correct was that Fury was slapping with it, right? So now he was throwing a real hook. So he was actually better off when he had the floppy glove.
Yeah. So I mean, what I really, really remember the most about the whole thing was Deontay basically separating old boy's soul from his body, and the referee would have a look at that and think somehow this guy is okay. Like anytime you see somebody go out before they hit the canvas, the referee typically just there's no need to count. You feel me?
No, but here's the thing though, right? Did he beat the count?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. If you get 16, 17, if you wake somebody, I don't know, bro. I don't know how he woke him up.
You can't wake somebody up from getting knocked out.
His conscience, his soul got back in his body somehow.
But he did beat the count and then went on to win the rest of the round.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, man. I mean, it was like 17, 18 seconds, but he definitely got up.
I think it was the speed of the count was like they always are. Because we don't go by seconds, we go by count. But like in the second fight, you could say Wilder had a long count after that first knockdown.
He absolutely did. But I mean, the fouls, dog. I mean, could you imagine either the fouling that was happening? I mean, oh my! I never seen somebody get mad.
Yeah, I know that because Wilder did a lot of the same things to Areola when he fought him, getting him in headlocks and stuff like that. So it's just my issue isn't that like if somebody wants to say this dude's fighting dirty. There's no doubt that Fury is a dirty fighter. Like in terms of that, I'm not going to argue with that. It definitely is. Cunningham, he like ragdolled him, and it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I don't like the way. I don't think he should have been allowed to fight that way against Cunningham. It's just my opinion, right? As an example, and he tried that with Usyk. Usyk is just like he knows how to handle that type of stuff. Usyk has stronger legs than Fury. Fury tried to lean on him and tried to do all these things, but Usyk, he knows Sambo and he kind of has a grasp of that arts that can fend that off. But my issue with Wilder anyway was I just like it when fighters have accountability after they lose, and I just don't think he ever had full accountability. He can never just say, you know what, he was a better man, he won, that's it. I never had an issue with Wilder saying, I think he should have won by knockout in the first fight. Shit. That's the first fight. I get that. But what I was going to say was I always liked his story. Like the fact that he got into boxing late and he was able to
provide for his daughter.
Yeah, provide for his daughter with special needs and became world champion. I think that is you can make a movie about that.
Oh yeah, and you know what? A lot of people talk shit about his boxing ability, but he did his thing, man.
He's a bronze medalist in the Olympics. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, he was an Olympian.
Yeah,
but, with the heavyweight division, man, you got big motherfuckers in there. You know what I mean? He's kind of.
I believe what happened with Wilder, because if people will be, you go look at his 2008 highlights, and it's like.
Yeah.
Hey, he was boxing very well. I just think that he understandably changed his style to be like a sharpshooter and knock guys out because he was knocking them out. He was like he had like a touch of death. So you'd be crazy to not adapt the style that way. But perhaps he, maybe got away from his boxing. But the last time I saw him really box very well was the first fight with Severn.
Yeah,
I thought he boxed a good fight in that fight, but then he kind of got away from that. But it's hard to criticize him for it because it was working. He was knocking these guys out. It's kind of hard. It's kind of like, I could see why he started to work behind the jab and set up the right hand, and because he was knocking guys out. I mean.
He kind of represented USA for heavyweight boxing, for the most part, for that reign. He held that title for a minute, man. I mean,
he didn't get the promotion. They just didn't give him the respect that he earned. He
got a big.
All of them cab drivers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I have a different perspective on things, and I tell you right now. Could you tell me? Do you believe that Mafia has ever been involved in boxing? Do you believe that people have ever put stuff on top of the gloves that cause people to go blind? Do you believe that people have taken steroids? Do you believe that people have maybe put something in their drinks, or maybe lose their luggage and turn the cold water off at the hotels? there are all these dirty things that happen when betting and gambling are involved, right? So you can never take and put aside the level of control that one wants to have over the gambling market. So
right.
You can never say that somebody got some leverage. Somebody got some leverage on somebody, and maybe they did do something. Because I seen some people get to the ring, and I seen Anthony Joshua look crazy. I seen Deontay Wilder look crazy. I seen Errol Spence look crazy. I saw the Cuban dude, who Cuban heavyweight, who went over there and fought and didn't do nothing. I seen some weird stuff in boxing, bro, and I do understand that, you know, not everybody's going to have their best performance every time, and maybe something could happen, you know, in the lead up. But I do believe that there are nefarious, you know, entities that want to control things. They need the outcome to be the outcome that they need it to be because of gambling. There are movies about, you know, a heavyweight boxer who refused to do something, and next thing you know, they find him in a hotel over.
Talking about Sonny Liston, I think.
There's a couple cases.
Yeah. Look, obviously, the mafia used to be involved in. Used to run boxing, quite frankly.
Vegas.
Yeah, but I will say that in modern day boxing, like today, right, especially at the highest level, with so many smartphones around, cameras around, the commissions around, and the opposite teams are allowed to be in a dressing room while the hand wrapping is happening. The gloves are there's a special glove ceremony kind of that they do the day prior to the fight, and both teams are able to select their gloves and inspect the gloves, and then they get sealed. The next day, the gloves are next to the fighter. The other team is able to look at them, put them on, just make sure everything's good. And it just today, anyway, in the year 2025, it's a lot harder to pull off any of that, any of those shenanigans than it was in any years prior.
But I can tell you that none of the commissions have ever caught anybody pre-fight. None of them.
Like, what do you mean?
They didn't catch Margarito when he had the cement wraps, right? They didn't catch him. They had
at the end of the fight. That's how they noticed. But you know,
but you're.
Well, I have a lot to say about the Margarito thing. I just don't want to dive too much into it. That'll be a long conversation.
Yeah, we won't go there. But
they never found cement on his gloves. I could say that.
Officials are supposed to be monitoring these things so that they don't happen. But yet people stacking their gloves. But yet these things happen. So let's. What about I seen the Charlo have a water bottle in his hand that you couldn't see through. Yo, what you got in the bottle? Where the commission is in the corner, ain't they?
I'm not saying everything's perfect. What I'm saying is we don't know if the Charlos took anything, and I'm sure they took a piss test afterwards. If they did take something, it would have came out. But as far as just in general, like the commission's not catching anybody, that's not 100% true. So when the commission catches someone, it just depends what you mean by catching someone.
I mean, so if you're wrapping the gloves, you got something foul on your gloves, or you haven't wrapped them right.
Guys get told all the time to start wrapping again. The only difference is that that's not reported to the media, right? So if a guy starts wrapping, no, what are you doing? You can't start yet. Unwrap your hands and start again, right? That happens all the time. But when it's the other team doing it, they come in, they're like, oh, no, start over again. They could tell the media, and then that's how it comes out, and it could give it kind of gives a visual to people like, well, then what are the commissioners doing? They're not looking at anything. But I do know that commissions, while not perfect, no one's perfect, right? Prisons, high security prisons are high security prisons. People still escape from prison, right? So there's always going to be things that slip through the cracks. But as of right now, 2025, not impossible. But two things. One, it's harder to do it. And I will also say, if you are part of a team, if you're a trainer, if you're whatever it is, and a manager, whoever you have in charge of going to the other locker room, that is your job to look at those wraps, right? And it would go back to the Wilder thing. Wilder sent JDs to the other locker room for all 3 of his fights. If he felt like there was an oversight by the commission and this dude had something illegal in the wraps, why would you have that same dude in the locker room inspecting the gloves for Fury? When that's not the commission, that's your guy.
Right.
And you blame Mark Breland for spiking his
that Mark Breland thing, like I said, that's a real touchy subject. And you definitely got to be careful when you say something and make an allegation against somebody, for as far as ruining their
reputation,
as far as ruining their brand and things like that, because you can get into litigation over that. You know what I mean? But I mean, honestly, I think that if a boxer has proof that something like this has happened, you gotta get it out there, because you're dealing with someone's reputation. And I don't know. I feel like honestly, like there's been a couple cases where I kind of questioned Wilder's judgment. You know what I mean? I kind of questioned it. I wasn't sure if I could rock all the way with him like that. But then I saw a lot of stuff happening that just didn't make sense to me, man. Especially in the fights with the referees, the build up, the way that things were being promoted. I saw a lot of stuff that gave me like the Jack Johnson and the violence that occurred after the fight just because he won. It gave me that type of feel. You know what I mean? That's a very uncomfortable feeling to be around.
Gotcha.
If they can somehow prove that Margarito didn't use no plaster of Paris, right, in the hand wraps, you don't think he should be compensated as far as like?
Well, he was because he got the Pacquiao fight. Like, it's not like he wasn't. They did it like he was suspended, but they did. Here's the thing. So I've done extensive podcasts on this and a lot of research on this, and it's a lot. But I'll try to keep it as simple as I can.
Right.
All right. So, and one guy, if you guys ever want to get him on, I would recommend, Gabriel Montoya is the dude to get on, like, when it comes to this topic. I don't know if you're familiar with Gabriel Montoya. He used to write for Max Boxing back in the day. He used to do a show with Steve Kim. He's kind of more to politics now than boxing, but he'll still talk about this stuff. But what I will say is this. So to answer your question, no, he wouldn't get compensated for anything, because let me make this clear, right? What him and his team, what Capatillo did by letter of the law was illegal, right? So they did break the rules. So the year suspension was adequate. And then after that, his career didn't stop. The plaster controversy, which I'll get to in a moment, was not what stopped him from making money. What stopped him from making money was the eye injury that he suffered in the first Cotto fight, and then that Manny Pacquiao made worse in his fight, right? The fact that he had to put a glass eye is what kind of ended his career, right? He still got that massive payday with Cotto and Pacquiao after that fight, right? So I just want to say that. But what Capatillo did was use old, what do you call them? Shit, I forgot the name. Inserts, right? He used some old inserts, and so when they caught that, technically you're not supposed to use that, right? So they did. So obviously Capatillo should have known better. He shouldn't have done that. But here's the thing: it is debatable whether or not that was dangerous, or whether that helped him, give him more power, or like there's no evidence to suggest that. What I do know is this idea that he had plaster of Paris is completely not true. I think HBO spread that shit. They had me believing it for years.
I believed it too for a long time. I've heard this. I've heard this before as well.
They took some information that there was some sulfur, a pinch of sulfur on the wraps, which one would not be enough to create plaster of Paris. That's number one. Second, it wouldn't really have any effect. And third, that substance that they found could be found in a lot of things. You could have that stuff on anything, on your jeans, whatever. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that they kind of pushed for whatever reason. Now, as far as the after the fight, right? Because later on, as you know, there's that famous image of Margarito. It looks like he has blood, and there's a crack on the what's it called, the wraps or whatever.
Right.
Well, the problem with that is that when you look at other angles, right, you see that it's just a tear from the tape, which is very common. That's really all it is, right? And the red is the dye from the boxing glove. So that's what that is, right? And furthermore, Richardson, the way he described it, I forget if he said block or brick. He said one or the other. He said a block fell out, right? Well, nobody, basically, there's no other witness that said, oh, yeah, that's totally what it was, right? They took the insert, and they had all of Mosey's team look at it. So all these people were touching it, right? So when it said there was some sulfur on it, like a pinch of it, well, you don't even know, like, if all these people touching it, it got contaminated in any way. That's number one, right? And second, they have it in a plastic bag. It's in a plastic bag, and the commissioner has it, right? Reporters were able to look at it, and they say you could bend it, like it was kind of like it was as thick as it felt as hard as a credit card, is the way it was described. And many reporters looked at it, and they were kind of surprised, or this isn't the brick or like the block that was described by Richardson. And Richardson didn't show up for the hearings to speak on this stuff, right? So I'm sure it's not that he didn't catch anything. Obviously, they should not have been using the old inserts. So they were caught doing something they were not supposed to be doing. All I am saying is that all these stories we've heard about, like, oh, when he would start the fight, and then by the middle rounds, it would turn into plaster of Paris and all this stuff. Like that's not what they found. Like there was no evidence of that whatsoever.
Whose job is it? So now, if that person decides they want to get into litigation to clear their name, is that what we're talking about now?
No, because he was never punished for having plaster of Paris, right? He was punished for the illegal action that I mentioned,
right?
So that's why when Skywalker asked, should he get compensated? Well, no, because you should have been suspended, right? Like that was this, and then they investigated. Obviously, like there was a pending investigation, but it was never proven that he had plaster of Paris. You know what I mean?
So so the commission. So if we put on a brand new pair of gloves. Now we know that the thumb has to be attached. Now, right? They want to make sure that the thumb stays attached for safety reasons. So we're not allowed to take these gloves and go punch the wall with them, right? That would be considered legal, I assume, right?
If it's an illegal glove, it's an illegal glove.
Yeah, they say you're not allowed to break your gloves in by punching the wall with them, right? So now if the commission is in that locker room and this person over here beating on the cinder blocks on the wall, breaking his gloves in, now they're supposed to stop. They're supposed to be like, okay, now you need a whole new set of gloves, right? So the right action would be, I understand you're saying people miss things, but the right action would be like, okay, this person just attempted to, gain an advantage by breaking the rules. So we have to do something about it. And then there's to be a conversation about, maybe we take some from that purse since you want to, and then give this other fighter the decision.
So a lot of the gloves, especially even horsehair gloves, right? Mm-hmm. And I've talked to like Russ Abner, who's well known. He produces the Rival gloves. I don't know if Gabion is still working with Everlast, but I've talked to him, and they've described on how the gloves today are, for the most part, right, are kind of designed about how in the inside of the glove they're sewn in a way where the horsehair cannot be redistributed. Like kind of Tyson will talk about how he would like kind of rub his knuckles together to move the horse out of the way. Like you can't really do that now. because of the way that the gloves are designed. As far as breaking in the gloves, I don't know if punching the pads is considered breaking in the gloves, but if you have a brand new pair of gloves, I just don't think you could break them in that fast. Just while you're in the back. By the time you wrap your hands, put on the gloves, even if you have a brick wall, I mean, I think it's more likely you break your hand doing that than breaking in the glove. It's the way I feel about it. I'm not going to say I'm the most qualified person to say that because I never tried that.
Right.
And I don't think I'm going to put on a pair of gloves and start hitting a brick wall. But if somebody wants to try it, but I am in agreement that if regardless of my opinion, if it's in the rules, you cannot do that, right? Then you can't do that, regardless of what these style things, right? Then you got to, by letter of the law, you got to enforce the rule, right? And that's why, like, when people say, "Oh, come on, those old inserts wouldn't have made a difference," and I don't know. I just know that that's against the rules, and they were breaking the rules. So, and they knew they shouldn't have been doing that. And the reason we know they shouldn't have been doing it because Capatillo said it was a mistake. He didn't argue I'm allowed to do this. He said, sorry, it was a mistake, right? Which is hard to believe. It's like, you really have some old inserts in your bag? Like, what? I would have suspended him if I'm in the commission, right? But yeah, look, they have rules for a reason. Don't hit brick walls. If I'm a promoter, I'm in favor of that anyway. I don't want my fighters hitting brick walls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, before a fight, break your hand, we're going to cancel the fight. Fuck that. You know what I mean? But, yeah. I guess if you break it 2%, you're still breaking it in, right? So,
yeah. That was a good explanation, bro. I learned a lot tonight. Shit.
Yeah, but if you guys ever want to get, I mean, I don't know how free he is on Sundays or whatnot, but if you ever want to get Gabriel Montoya on, I think he's the guy to get.
Yeah.
He knows like 10,000 times more than I do about this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Doug Fisher knows a little bit too, but I think he's the dude. Gabriel Montoya.
Well, fellas, it's 11:11. Make a wish. I think it's about time for me to ride out.
For sure.
Catch up on some things and get this week started off the right way.
Hell yeah. My wife started cooking too, so I came into my room.
Yeah, like over here it's like 9. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And shout out to Major Key Boxing. Oh, that's my brother, man. Haven't seen him in a minute, man.
What I will say in defense of Felix Trinidad, and this was said by Bernard Hopkins, okay? Because I know that the way they were, I think in his case, I don't know if it was like the twisting or something like that, but it wasn't allowed in New York, right? So they didn't allow him to rap it that way against Bernard Hopkins. And it was, his rapping was horrible for that fight. I guess his dad didn't know how to rap another way, right? But despite, I just feel like for people that say, "Oh, that's the only reason he was knocking guys out," or this is what I will say. Bernard Hopkins said, right, the hand he was that he was blocking the left hook with, which would be his right hand. He said his wrist was completely, like, utterly swollen after that fight from the left hook, blocking the left hook of Felix Trinidad. He said, "I felt that power," and he said, and I think it was the Spit Bucket podcast. He said, "I had to be perfect that night because if Trinidad hurt me at any point in that fight, he could finish me. So I had to win the way I won. It had to be a perfect performance throughout the fight." And he said, "I kept blocking his hook, and it fucked up my wrist. It was swollen for days," he said. So I do think Trinidad had some real power. I will say that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
There's Bianca, man. Much love to Australia. Shout out to Australia. Canada in the house. Everybody, man.
Bianca from Australia?
Yeah, from the land down under.
Yeah, Bianca's from down under. Yeah.
Oh shit! So you got like an Australian. You got like moderators from all over the world. You know what I mean? Like it's a
bro. Yeah, My first channel had mad Filipinos, bro. Like probably more Filipinos than anything.
All right, Chad. That's very cool. You know, it's good to have moderators from like all over the world because no matter what, someone's always watching your channel. You know what I mean? No matter when you go live.
You know Carl, right? Carl,
Yeah, he has like a crocodiles. I know he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my bro too, man. I've done
Got
a
them.
lot of content with him. Bro, I've stayed up late at night, bro, just to watch fights with him, bro, to go live. And I remember when Jarvis fought Paro, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I woke up hella early, like 3 in the morning to watch that fight. So,
Sure.
yeah, I show love, man. I love boxing, bro. You know me, man. Whether it be amateur to the pro level, man, or, you know, I got a love for the sport.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna head out. If you do any short ones, send it to me.
yeah, for sure. Hey, bro, if you get a chance, bro, I know, bro, you're probably working. You're a busy guy, man. We get a chance, come out Saturday, April 12th.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on like some, because right now like they're being very strict about the weekends, but it's like 2-3 weekends away, and I'll be able to get weekends off. But I want to head out there anyway, just to like, you know, just to check out
big card. I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna be helping Nonito with the card, bro. We got my co-host Tim Witherspoon Jr. in action. That's why I did the stream earlier. But we got a lot of good talent on the card. We got Shane Mosley Jr. You got Fernando Vargas Jr. You got a lot of the juniors, even the Tapia Jr. Johnny Tapia Jr. Matt the Diamond Boy Griego. All our best fighters are. It's a big venue, bro. It's been a long time since anybody's fought at the pit, since Johnny Tapia.
If we do any like short content on like the whole thing with Cooper, like if you want to do it part of it, like if you want to even with like no boxing, no problems.
We talked about Cooper. That's all intentional, bro. Because you know me, I do my editing, bro. So I'll go in and pull that out and work on it. You know what I mean?
Because I know like his people will share it, like his mom will share it, and
definitely, man. I like
especially if it's on like on the Mo Boxing, no problems, whatever.
Hey, excellent pro debut, man. We gotta to give him some exposure with it. You know what I mean?
So like hopefully that'll like put more limelight on it or whatever. But I'm like really good friends with his mom and shit. I've known her like for 3 years. I've met her personally 3 times. Like cool person, you know what I mean?
They're good people. They follow me now too. Because of you, they follow me. So
okay. There might be more, or there might or might not be more going on than you know, but it's all good. You know what I mean? But but I'm really good friends with her.
Yeah, it seemed like good people, bro. Like since I'm cool with you, they started following me, and you know.
She started following you too?
Yeah, Shannon and both Cooper. Yeah, both mom and son.
Okay, that's cool. All right, sounds good.
So yeah, definitely. I did that on. You know, I wanna make a nice video and then highlight that. You know what I'm saying? And then I was gonna make a video for Tim, because hyping up his fight, bro. It's fight week for him.
For sure. All that sounds great. So, all right, brother. I'm gonna. All right, peace.
All right. Everybody follow D-Style, man. Go follow his channel. Major Key, good night. Bianca, good night. K-Mac, thank you guys for all tuning in. Peace.
Yeah, good people, man. Peace.
Nice.